Thank you. I appreciate those kind words. And speaking of AI, I had another mind-blowing demonstration of AI capability last night. And what struck me, because I trend track, it's a daily habit of mine, it's difficult enough for those of us who are attempting to stay on top of tech because of how quickly it's advancing and changing, and it's our job. So when Brandon asked me to collaborate on this webinar, I immediately thought about how we could provide some real value in such a short period of time, given the complexity of the topic and the diverse group of attendees. It's impossible. So you need to know this is an ongoing conversation and an iterative conversation that will not stop if you're a financial advisor who's practicing and owns a business. So my call to action is to just reach out to me on LinkedIn or through Brandon if you have any questions about what I'm going to talk about. Next slide. And what I'm going to talk about is really like a reiteration of your pain and the typical process that advisors are going through to decide what tech to use in their business. I want to highlight some of my process and a different approach to evaluating tech by considering yourself first, and make sure that you have some context and definitions if you don't know much about the concepts that we're referring to in this webinar. And then I'll walk you through a simple example and a process that I take advisors through to choose the right technology for themselves and for their business. Next slide. So on top of everything else that you have to do as an advisor, you're trying to keep pace with the changes in technology and making sure that you're looking at all the problem-solving apps and staying relevant to your clients, when for the majority of you, all you want to do is see the people, add value, build relationships, solve some problems, and sell some insurance and investments along the way. There are simply too many choices out there. It is very overwhelming to try to determine which apps and software and integrations will best serve your needs. And there's often a lack of the necessary support and understanding from the tech providers, leaving you to navigate onboarding and integration on your own, and your $59 subscription a month does not cover what you really need help with. And most advisors don't have weeks to sift through the training videos and to build new habits. So even when you invest the time to learn and optimize the tech that you've chosen, inevitably something will change. And you'll have to build new processes, which is a daunting and easily avoidable task with limited support, and you end up paying for a slew of software and applications and subscriptions that are frustrating and expensive, on top of the ones that are free for you. So in many cases, advisors never truly realize the full value of their tech investment. More disappointment, and then they switch providers and the cycle starts all over again. Because, next slide, the typical decision-making process is not well planned out. You are usually either joining the boys club, and now very fitting term that I use for our industry, but not what you think. This is the best of intentions club, where advisors swap recommendations at an education conference without considering the unique needs of their own business compared to who's making the recommendation. And what works for one advisor does not work for another advisor necessarily. Or you have technology offered by your dealer, your MGA, your carrier, and sometimes there's a lack of context given, and advisors are left to figure it out on their own, trying to implement it and trying to integrate it, sitting through demos where tech providers who lack industry experience or boots on the ground experience are the ones giving the demos. And the result is a disconnection between the problems advisors are facing and the solutions that are being offered. And then as a result of that, advisors end up building a disjointed stack of technology that may not work well together, more frustration, more disappointment. So there needs to be a more thoughtful and detailed approach to designing a tech stack that fits your unique business. And that starts with a very familiar process to you called discovery, an informative discussion around the issues that you're having, the problems that you're seeing in your business, the thinking you need to do, and the steps that you can't miss before you choose the right technology to run your business. Next slide. So it's crucial to take a thoughtful and strategic approach to selecting the tools that you're using. And that begins with truly knowing yourself, your business, your team, the structure of your business, your budget, your markets, your lines of business, like the products, your tech habits, your unique needs and challenges you're facing. This is a familiar approach. It's the same process as your KYC, your KYP, and your suitability considerations for your clients. Different information, but same kind of process. And then it's important to prioritize your challenges and know which ones technology can solve. Are you disorganized? Are you oversubscribed? Do all of your client documents exist on your laptop that has outdated antivirus software? Are you terrible at taking notes? I know some of you are feeling this pain right now. So there is a more deliberate approach and discovery process that you need to start with. And you should consider what is working for you and what is not working for you as well. Also, there is a really good reason why you want to pay attention to the technology that your MGA or your dealer puts in front of you, because they've done the due diligence and you don't have to. They're invested in solving common problems for the advisors they're working with. They take the time to vet the tools, and they can help improve your process, become more efficient, identify opportunities like Francois was talking about, and manage risk. And the more they make more money if you make more money. So they're really invested in having you run a more streamlined and efficient business, leveraging the technology that they recommend. I have a red flag. If you're excitable, like me, and get sucked into chasing the technology that has the answers to all your problems, and you're putting private client data into it, and it has not been vetted, you may be facing some unintended consequences. So make sure you're asking your dealer and make sure you're asking your MGA first. So don't miss a step. And also make sure you have cyber insurance, cybersecurity insurance. Next slide, please. So I don't want to miss out on an opportunity to help you with understanding if you're new to the concepts that we're discussing. And I want to make sure that we share the same definitions and understanding of what a stack is. This is a commonly used term to describe the bundling of programming languages that are used to build software and applications and stuff like that. And we just borrowed that concept to represent the digital tools that work together to enhance your ability to serve your clients. So a tech stack is a combination of devices, of hardware, of software, and apps that you're using in your business to perform the functions that satisfy your service offering, from data collection and storage to information gathering and integration, communication and reporting, life app and account opening and processing, client servicing, all of those things. And again, your technology stack can vary based on your needs, your structure of your business, the products that you sell, your compliance requirements, your budget, other technology you're using, and your mandated technology. So by understanding yourself and the needs in your business and the different layers of your technology stack, as you evolve, you can identify the gaps and your current setup and determine what tools can be added to improve your workflows and your overall impact. Like optimization, which is like your annual KYC update. Have there been any changes to your business? And is what you have still working for you? Is anything missing? Is it satisfying your current business needs? And are you using it? Next slide. Are you using it? Which is where integration comes in. Integration does not have to be complicated. I know there's a lot of conversations happening with technology, but it's not only about the way technology interacts. It's also about the way you interact with technology. And what works for you is most important. That could be a simple digital client onboarding survey link from AdvisorFlow that you're taking and popping into a MailChimp campaign that feeds your Equisoft CRM information and updates while you're on the golf course with 3-year prospects. I mean, very great benefits to technology if you're thinking creatively about what is working for you. Next slide. So to quickly summarize, just like your client discovery process, and as a part of your annual business planning, dig into the details of you, your team, how your business is operating, and the more clarity you have around your challenges and needs, the less time, money, and emotion that you're going to be wasting on the wrong tech choices. Once you've clarified your challenges and prioritized your must-haves, consider what problems you're trying to solve or what goals you want to achieve with technology. And this is going to help you determine what features and capabilities you need in your software application. Start with your dealer or MGA or carrier for options because the due diligence has been done. And then look for software applications that are specific to the industry or your niche. And consider the features, functionality, and pricing that you will use, not the features that it has. And it's always fantastic when you find one tool that solves many problems, and then make sure you understand the cost to get in and the cost to get out. Next slide. So I want to give you just a really quick example of an advisor that's reached out to me recently. I'm taking all the personal information, so I hope you don't recognize this person. But basically, why I build advisor profiles is like the same reason why you build client profiles like this. I can very quickly distill the most relevant information down to the biggest problem and opportunities that tech can solve or satisfy. It's like triage, just like with your clients. So, and I'm also trying to color within the lines of regulation and compliance. So I want to know how old you are, how long you've been in the business, what's your license to sell, how big your block is, what's in your block, the product mix, what markets you're working in, who are your primary carriers, your MGA, your dealer, what tech are you using, what tech are you pretending to use, your attitude and aptitude as they relate to tech, what's keeping you up at night, what's working, what's not, and all those things. And this is what this looks like. When I get this information, next slide, sorry. When I get this information, these are the pieces that really matter to me because I know that I'm going to be able to recommend solutions that'll make an immediate difference in the business. So here are some of the thoughts that I have in help that help me determine what kind of tech stack to recommend. So at 57, I know this advisor started in a paper world in our industry, but was exposed early on to the benefits of tech and is a reserved optimist. With a block that size, I know the advisor is drowning in service work. Probably reactive, not proactive, with only one assistant, doing very little marketing, life insurance focused at a progressive, tech-supportive MGA, not concerned about investments, but probably wants to tag and segment those referrals that are going to the investment firm. Definitely has a tech-engaged niche with an executive level entrepreneurial family with older kids who is their primary market. So their clients will likely be very engaged with some sort of digital collaborative tools. And then the advisor is already overwhelmed and needs something easy to integrate with, quick to learn, because they're oversubscribed and over capacity. So preferably, like I mentioned before, one solution for many problems. And then it has to integrate with Outlook. So for the sake of time, there is more thinking that goes into that, but for the sake of time, I'm going to go to the next slide and just show you how you start to think about this. Point number one, table stakes, operating system that is up to date, antivirus software that is up to date, and a productivity suite. This advisor needs a one-to-many CRM that comes integrated and stacked. And to clarify, a one-to-many solution provides the services that you would get from multiple software and applications. So instead of 15 different subscriptions, you want to look for a solution that provides a more fulsome offering and includes some of that for one subscription. They're also a great candidate for digital client onboarding. You recall again the niche they're working in, probably tech engaged, and big insurance block. It's massive for one advisor and one assistant. So they need an automated block mining tool with easy to manage notifications, preferably also stacked and integrated. Next slide. So this is how this begins to come together. Table stakes, obviously, again, updated operating system, antivirus software, and productivity suite. Equisoft, not just because they're on this webinar, but Equisoft is an industry leader, comes vetted by many, many of our industry-leading organizations. Lots of recommendations for you. Due diligence has already been done on it. It has compliance management features, has data feeds that go right into the system so you don't have to manually enter or upload from your spreadsheet. Has cloud storage capability, so you don't have to get an outside cloud storage. Has Outlook integration. Paper file scanning at 57 and overwhelmed, started 25 years ago. Probably has a few filing cabinets of papers. Client segmentation to make sure you're managing all of the referrals of the investment business, communication and calendar management, reporting, and on and on and on. 57 and overwhelmed, has a big block of insurance business. Life design analysis, is an industry leader, also recommended by a lot of organizations in Canada, so the due diligence has been done on it. It is insurance mining for all of those opportunities that you don't want to miss when you're overwhelmed and don't have more time. It has also presentation and compliance enhancements and it's easy to use and has integration. So finally, the last point, Advisor Flow. If you're not familiar, take a look at this. Customizable, super simple to use, easy online client surveys that help you with digital data gathering. Export and integration is absolutely the easiest you'll see, and it's independent. So you can take your data and put it into whatever you need to put it in if you're moving somewhere. And final slide. I am right on time. So that's what a tech stack and my process looks like when it comes to helping an advisor really understand how to get from who they are and what their business looks like to what an effective technology stack will look like to help them better manage their business. So I hope I provided some food for thought. And again, if you have any questions that are not answered after, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I will hand this off to Brandon.